Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm here with another special guest, Lalit Rawat, who is joining us today from India itself. Lalit is a notable Microsoft Azure expert, author, and a well known speaker who has made a remarkable contribution to the tech industry. Lalit's journey into the tech world of Microsoft Azure is an inspiring one. From discovering his passion for cloud computing to becoming a recognized Azure master in 2017, he has craved a path that has influenced countless professionals worldwide. So, today in this episode, we will hear about his inspiring journey and his contribution as a Microsoft MVP and MCT. But before we start the discussion, I would like to thank Lalit for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us something about yourself.
Thanks, Amit. I think you have already covered up into the brief introduction. So, I'm Lalit Rawat. I'm a tech speaker for almost 10 years now. I've been a part of with multiple conferences, including TechXCon for Global Azure Bootcamp, M365, and I have been went to many colleges to have the sessions in and around with the students. They have invited me as a chief guest for a couple of colleges to inaugurate the technical community, be a part of hackathon jazz, and many more. So the journey is not started here. It's been I started my journey in 2016 as an Azure. Uh,
Okay.
Prior to that, I have been into Microsoft as in through Mindtree, and then that's where in 2009 and 10 my journey has been started in Azure, and then I started my community journey in 2016, and then we have one Telegram group which we have created, which has almost 10,000 members in terms of Azure. At that time, no one knows about Azure, so we help them to fix their problems. There are many people who came and they'll put the problems. We solve them overnight, and it's been like it's incredible journey because that's where I learned that if you help in a community you will get back, and because of that, like I have been prepared myself, and then I started as an speaking and contributing towards community, which resulted after 5 years as a Microsoft MVP. Then I got certified for Microsoft MCT, and then I was Azure Master of the Month for consecutively of 2 months. And then I explore other stuffs, and it's been almost 10 years. I never know that how the time is passed, and we are here.
Okay, your journey sounds very inspiring as well as very interesting because the way like you initiated the group and things got changed. So what were those initial things were there like that really inspired you to start this journey specifically for Azure community? As you mentioned, like you started the group and later on you carried out. But what all other things were there in your place that really inspired you and sparked your interest into the journey?
Well, so I was, to be frank, like I'm a BSc biology guy. Okay, so I have
Okay.
done my graduation in BSc biology, that too in Hindi subject. Okay, so I wrote an exam in Hindi, and then I started my career in Bangalore. Whereas one of my friend helped me out on this to came into the Bangalore. He supported, and then I started hardware networking, and then I started a job into the Microsoft, and that's where I introduced to the Microsoft technologies like server, AD, and all of those things infrastructure. And then later on, 3 years, I have joined Mindtree, and then there's a project called Microsoft. So I was a vendor there, and then I started learning. And one day, one of my lead from USC says that, "Can you just create this VM in there?" I'll say where. They have given me some URL. At that time, it was Classic. So I went there and create this VM. Right? It's an amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
because I don't have to buy infrastructure, I don't have to buy anything. The disk and everything is in provision automatically. I said that is something which I have to learn, and that's where my interest is started in Microsoft Azure. And you believe me or not, then one day I have to go for an interview, and I have been rated almost 18 to 19 videos. That's just one of the famous MVP in Canada. So that was my passion around it. And then I have the same friend who helped me in this is Vishal Avasthi, right? He introduced to this Azure community, okay, to
Okay.
say that, okay, just join in. And then I joined this, and then there's one mentor, I cannot take a name, but he helped me to grow and give me an opportunity to speak in front of the wider audience, international audience, and the kind of responses which we are getting, and that's make me really interesting. And he helped me to grow in that particular journey. And then later on, when you get the responses from the people that we are helping, and you are helping to get other people into their jobs and all of those stuffs, right? Helping to get them to the jobs, training them, mentoring them. So then all of those certain things is been started, right? Once these things is started, like I'm feeling myself is proud because my father is a teacher. So that is some things is always there in the blood, okay, which I even didn't know. But when he started training people, helping them, though even sometimes it's okay, I have to pay for some things. People is take the trainings. I haven't charged for them, right? I just give them the training, like, and then later on, after 5 years and 6 years, these people meet up in a one on another conference. Say, sir, you have trained me at that time, and you make my journey wonderful. And that is one thing which, like, the people remember you after 6 years, 7 years. So I'll
Correct.
tell you
Yeah.
one scenario where I was in AGCon, which now called as a TechExCon. There's one guy from Andhra Pradesh. He came and he touched my feet and said, "Sir, you are the one who helped me to grow, and in such a way that I learned Azure, I learned Kubernetes. Now I'm in really in good positions, right?" So these are the some things important part which really helps me to motivate to do more and more for the community, right? And these are the driving factors. So then I help mentoring MVPs, then I mentor many other peoples in and around, and started going to the conferences, and the way I deliver the talk, right? People is really enjoying. Sometimes you might not prepare for the talk, but it is like
Yeah.
people call me one day before, say you have to deliver. I'll say okay, I'll go and deliver it. So now that much is how I prepare. But these are all three or four factors, which is the driving factor, that the feedback, the kind of responses, the respect which you get if you help into the community is your driving factor and the motivation. So I would say my father is always my hero because he always did it the same thing. So it is just like that. But the problem is I realize in the later days. So that's
Yeah.
something is interesting.
Okay. All right. And Lalit, we all know, like, apart from being a Microsoft MVP and MCT, you have also authored two notable Azure books. So, what was the inspiration behind writing these kind of books, and like, what were the key insight do they offer when a reader read those kind of books?
I'll tell you one feedback, and then I'll put it across this. So
Sure.
I have been training one of my mentees. Okay, he's the non-technical guy, and he came to me through one of my friend, and he always asks some of those questions, including the problems which he face in the office. Okay, and one day he pinged me, "Sir, this is your book." I say, "Yes, this is my book." And how did you know? They'll say that, "Sir, your book is pretty famous because one of my senior has given this book saying that if you get any issues in Azure, please go through this book, you'll get a solutions."
Okay.
Okay. So this is pretty interesting. See, then he told that he knows me to just put it across that he knows me. Okay, so that is
Mhm.
some things is inspiring one. And one more story that I got it from the BBB publishers. Uh, that one of the wife is bought a book for his husband, right? And he got through into the AG104, and they are very lucky, and he got a job. So
Okay.
this is some of those great story. So I wrote this book not for the profit purpose, but I just have some things to have some things as a kind of author. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because I just wanted to prove some things to my daughter that when she look at me, right, how she can recognize me. So it's been, I think, 7 to 8 years when I wrote. I think 4 to 5 years when I wrote this book. So I that was mine, and I did not put it for to any monetizations and all of those things. But it got it. This has been come through one of my friends is in Daily Gaurav, who give me this opportunity. Said, "Do you wanted to write something?" Is looking out for a technical author. I said, "Yeah, I can write it out." So I started first. I started learning and understanding how this book can be right and all of those things. And I have it. It took a year because earlier there was a 103 exam, then it's a 104 exam, so I have to rewrite it again and make the
Yeah.
changes and all of those things, right? So when I wrote it, like it's kind of anyone can read it and they can deliver it in a production, right? So the motivation was that to become an author and then showcase some things to my daughter. But the biggest motivation is to help the people who wanted to get started in Azure, even without monetization. So I told them that let's say like how much what do you want? I said I don't want anything, just you can publish it. Okay. And then these guys just came up second time to write something more. So I thought of okay, let's write it in terms of AG 305 because that's where I see the gaps. The books are available, but the lab guide and the things in terms of how you can think in terms of design prospects and all of those things. So I have put it across. Though even I wanted to write it for 300 pages, but it went up to 400 pages. So that's how I accommodate the many areas around in the technology and tech. So if anyone wants to buy, then they can buy it from Amazon.
Okay.
It's there. The rating is literally high for both the books,
Mm-hmm.
and people is so the first book AG 104, I think it's around 7,000, 8,000 techies has been already bought it, and the third one is probably 100 and 120 because this will launch just 6 months, 7 months back. So these are couple of driving factor, right, to help the community through this. Because if I wrote it and I only publish, it's a lot of challenges to me, right? I
Correct.
don't know the control writing and all of those things. So BBP is really helpful for me. But monetization is never be the motive for it. Just to help the people to get it, to grab it, the knowledge and all of those things. Yeah.
Okay. And Lalik, can we expect any other book in the upcoming years that maybe you are working upon, or is there any particular area like which you will be covering in the upcoming years?
I'm planning to, coming up with some of those AI related topics or the books in terms of because this has been the trending. So my book is always in terms of the exam related because many of the people wanted to have them certified and all of those things. So I have been preparing some of those things, but as of now I'm been big bit occupied with other stuffs.
Yeah.
So I will surely probably in a month or two when I started, then I'll let you know on that part. But now I'm more focusing on as a public speaker. So that's the one part of it.
Okay. And apart from these book, like your blog is also playing a vital role for the folks, which is Azure4U.com, that offers a wealth of Azure insights. So how did this platform come to your life, and what factors influence your choice of topics to address through these blogs?
Yeah, I would say this has comes just by mistake because I have been doing a lot of trainings and all of those things, right? And then I one day I thought of to I wanted to be a blogger because I see the inspiration is Arup Nair is another MVP, so who helped me also to become an MVP. So he's writing in a couple of really good blogs and all of those things. So what I did is I just go through his blogs and say I wanted to write it, but where's the platform? So what I did is I bought in terms of WordPress because I'm not a developer. It's a pretty easy to go and buy a sites and domain and everything, right? And when I do that, then I started writing up in terms of the lab guidance, right? And people love it. So when you looked out my blog, it's not just a blog or it's a bookish stuff where you just go and read it, but I concentrate in terms of the real time problems, right? The challenges which I face in my environment, right? The challenges which I face in the migration, the challenges I face in terms of Active Directory deployment or backup or storage or whatsoever. So those challenges been faced by many people, many other people, right? So that is the initial thought to help them, because there are many issues which you might not find out in terms of the Microsoft blogs and all, because the Microsoft documents is also there, but that's been not been like as much as whatever the things they can do, they cannot update it and every day and do, right? In the different environment and the different issues. So this is what is the purpose of to help them, to train them that these are some things is there and this is there. And many people came to me and say, Lalit, even after 5 to 6 years or 7 years of my blogs, they came to me and say, Lalit, your blog helped me to understand what is GP1 and GP2 in a storage account. Okay. And then after that, I have a discussion with them. I'll say, so it is impacting now also. So just to help the people and all, and though even I'm not continuing that one, but though I still write few of the blogs yearly, but I thought up to, if it is inspiring to the people, I started again. And thanks for asking these questions.
Okay. All right. So let's talk bit about your recognition because you have been recognized with various title, whether it is a Azure Master or MVP. So let's talk bit about it. So like you have been recognized as an Azure Master in 2017. So what specific areas of your work were most influenced by this title, and how the things were changed after getting this prestigious title?
I think in 2016 and 17, Microsoft is also wanted to put a place in terms of Azure, right? Earlier to that, like in 2015 and 16, they announced to go live with public, right? So at that time, they initiated a program called Azure Master of the Month, where whether you are learning some things, you are blogging, or you are putting things in and around, right? Or you are creating the content, or you are reading some things. So the things is that all of those things, if you record it into this Azure Master of the Month page, right, you will be awarded for a month. It does not have any goodies or anything, but your photo, your picture, and that Azure Master will be published for a month. Okay, and the next month, if you don't contribute, it will be for someone else. So
Okay.
the inspiration is Elias. So he was a Microsoft MVP. So I see one guy is an Azure Master of the Month for almost 6 years and 6 to 7 months. And whenever I looked at, I say, like, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there. So I tried almost 3 to 4 months, and I think it's in November 17th when November 17th or I think 17th or 18th, I was awarded as an Azure Master of the Month, and this was the first award in my whole life. I
Okay.
haven't been awarded in any of the areas. So this was the first award that's always precious to me. So when I awarded, I continued for 2 to 3 months. That 2 months at least for this particular award, and then I stuck with many other activities. So this was the first one, and always be precious, because and that's where I started loving more of Microsoft technology, because they are the one who recognized me, right?
Right.
And that's the motivations which drive me to the MVP kind of stuff.
Okay, all right. And like with over 300 plus advanced tech articles under your belt, which topic, because you have published various articles, right? So, which topic do you believe are the essential one for the Azure professional to master in today's environment?
I would say they have to, master in terms of Azure networking.
Mm-hmm.
That is the vast topic, and as in many people are from the infrastructure background or the developer and all of those things, right? When they do deploy their services and all, they always stuck into the networking, because there are the one thing that it is a bit complex to understand, right? And the second one is when they wanted to deploy something, there's some of those policies being blocked, or something is there, like they wanted to do a load balance or they wanted to have a secure applications based on the companies and the organizations, right? So it is a bit of complex part of it, right? And that's where like neither the infrastructure guy has worked nor the application team has worked, right? But it just came into the Azure. So networking is just not about the you know VNet creations and all, right? You'll have to understand into the various things in and around. So that was the one part. But I would say, like, if you wanted to start your journey, understand the component first. So any Azure services, you go through the component, what component plays the what role is, right? And that's where you will understand. If you don't have the components understanding, you will never ever understand Azure at all.
Agree.
So do even sometimes from couple of months, if I'm not working on Azure, but I have the great skills of component understanding, and then I worked on deep and other stuffs. So someone says, Lalit, as I will say, you'll go there, here you'll find the solutions, and they find out the solutions. So that's how, like, you when you understand the components in and out, right, how it has been built, because they have been built on top of the Hyper-V or whatever the Windows or Microsoft infrastructure, right, which has been working for quite long. So they have to understand how data centers works, how this infrastructure being deployed, what are the services are there, and where they can get the problems, right? So this networking is literally an important part, and then the compute could be the one. And then if you're working on the PaaS services, then SQL and web services, CI/CD and all will comes into the next part. But it's specific to subject, the subject which you wanted to master, right? In terms of infrastructure, I'll say go for AG104, the wholehearted, and that will be used for DevOps, CI/CD pipeline, a couple of other tools they have to learn. For architect, your mind should be thinkable enough to know how these applications can be designed in Azure, and that is not only the Azure part will be there, but we'll have to also learn and understand the various services, including data, AI, then Azure, VM, compute, network, right, and many other aspects of it, and security policies and many other stuffs. So these are the quite a bit things which you'll have to understand, and then you can start your journey. But the understanding component is the key area of any learning.
Okay.
That's the foundation, basically, I would say.
All right, so I think so now we are good to initiate the discussion regarding the training and speaking experience of yours, because you have been actively contributing as a speaker, right? So and you have trained, I think, more than 1,000 plus Azure training. You have taken more than 1,000 plus Azure sessions. So what's your secret to keeping them engaging? Because I have heard a lot of time that yes, your sessions are so engaging and impactful for the diverse audiences. So what are those secret for you?
Like, I don't have any secrets, so
Hmm.
you can say that, like, whenever I'm presenting anything, so I'll try to understand first the audience, right? What kind of the
Okay.
audience is, and then I'll try to talk to in their language, right? In respect of their language barriers, religions, and all of those things. I'll try to understand. If I'm Bangalore, I might be speaking in English, and try to understand where the audience is, and get them engaged with various activities. So, in my latest experience with one of the talk, the one thing is the topic which I presented. I was not prepared, or I'll say. So what I did is I given an opportunity to the audience. Okay, I'll say this is something which is there. Though even I'm prepared, but I told them that I'm not prepared.
Mhm.
So they'll think, okay, that will be starting something new, and then I'll tell them what are the power apps and all of those things, and then I ask them that what we missed. Do you think anything we miss, right? And then I started engaging, and I have few goodies also, so give it to them, and then start motivating them basically, and help them to grow. So when I wanted to present a lab, I can also do it, but I asked audience to contribute. So one came and put the command and create the management system, service now systems, management, incident management. Another came and he put the data into it and published the websites. So that's how, like, because the audience, when audience will come, right, they wanted to contribute. somewhere and other way, right? They have not got an opportunity, okay,
Yes.
to come and present some things on the stage or speak, or they might be shy, or maybe a different region, right? So that is one. The second example, when I was in NIMS for training their professors, okay, as a Azure workshops. So the questions for me, like, and the professors who is teaching to many students, how I can train them, right? And that's the toughest part. So first I'll try and understand their barriers, the level of skills they have, right?
Yeah.
And I started keep them engaging. When I presenting a content for 30 minutes, okay, for 20 to 25 minutes, I saw them that all are there sleeping. I said, let's start the lab. Okay, and then we started the lab, and then I started them showing them the labs and going to them and helping out and identifying who all are the audiences and the problem and help them out and award them a gift or chocolate or some things. As keep them engaging, right? And I will tell the stories, by like the stories which I always tell them, that the corporate experiences I share from the different companies, the audiences they share the experience. So I'll tell them the story in my way, right? Say this is the issue, and that's just what I did the mistakes. You don't do it.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, like, I deleted the storage account, and later on I have to recover. So I'll tell them, like, don't delete the storage account, but still you can recover. There's an option to recover the storage account. So earlier that was options not there, right? So, like, how you can engage them, and then more of storytelling, and then your kind of the story you'll tell, which make them sense in terms of topics and all, right? The live experiences, they would listen to you, and that is the key to engage the audience, tell them that you love them, and then appreciate them and help them
Yeah.
to grow. So many people after the sessions comes, I don't charge anything. I help them into the group. Once they have the comes into my friendship, or as a mentee, I'll just help them, like, okay, but it's okay, because they are the one, they will learn, and they can spread the words around things, right?
Correct.
So they can also spending their Saturday time and then coming and listening to me, and why they will listen to me, right?
Hmm.
So that's just something they can also get something out of us, right? So that is what is my purpose, that they can get some of those productivity. And you don't believe me, one of the event in Microsoft Chennai, only one audience came,
Okay.
only one, in, because they have some students are coming, and they have some accidents and all, and that's where they call it. I don't know the reason, but that's what is conveyed. I train, if you alone came, we will train you, and we have run that show. So we help them with two sessions with one candidate. So the show never go off. Okay, show must go on. If it is 1 or 100, we'll train them. Simple. Because for our time is already waste, right? You also came from to take the time from your family and coming, and if you don't get anything, right, I just some things is not good. So I'll make sure that they will get this experience. Like, though even I can cover up in half an hour, 30 minutes, but they can get the experience, that yes, they have learned something.
Okay.
So this is something is unique.
Okay. And Lalit, as an Microsoft MVP, Azure MVP, MCT, like how do you balance the demands of staying on the top of technology? Because there are so many things on your plate to deliver the content and to writing the blogs, writing books, and many other things are there. So how do you balance and manage the demands of industry, and how you provide or be on track for your commitments?
But it's all about time management and your interest on learning some things. Okay.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I know Azure, right? And the many of the services and the changes happening around on Azure, OpenAI or Copilot and all of those things, right? So, for what I'll do is, like, as and when there's a new technology, I started learning myself, right? And then I'll say that how I can, deliver as a content, and how I can be top of the nose. So I have an update is coming up, right? Whenever I'll see something is coming up, it's literally new. I'll go and learn them, right? The second part is I'm a quick learner. So one day, like the CPM is not here, but he called me and say, Lalit, you have to deliver the Visual Studio session or VS Code session in Infosys, okay, and some of those company. I said fine. And he called me on Thursday and Friday I have a session. So overnight, I have learned that particular technology. I learned how the VS Code works, right, and all of those things. And the next day, I was just expecting 60 or 70 people there.
Mhm.
But you don't believe me. How much you can guess? How many people would have joined?
Maybe more than 100, 150.
There was 800 people joined.
Oh, that's a huge number.
Okay. And that is I didn't know. And they will be talking in different languages. They were not
Okay,
mute and they are only muting me. So as a speaker, it's my responsibility to be calm and then tell them that okay, can you unmute me? And once we delivered the session, it was we got a huge appreciations, right? So it's different factors, right? The first, if you see something is coming up new in the technology, I always says don't be a master on that particular technology, right?
mm-hmm.
Know the best things which you wanted to know, right? At
Yep,
least you should know till the conversational language. You don't have the half knowledge, but take at least for the conversational knowledge that you know the component better, right?
correct,
The second part is start discussing with your peers who knows this technology and started learning from them, right? And that's where the network comes into the picture. Third one, if you don't know the topic, prepare yourself, go and deliver a talk, right? So that's way you can ask the feedbacks, questions, and all of those things. Write a blog. If you don't know the technology when you're writing the blog, until unless you will not satisfied, right, you will not publish the blog.
correct,
So if you write the blog, and many times if I'm not satisfied, no, this content is not good, I'll start researching again, right? To write 1,000 character of blog, right? You will have to think 3 to 4 hours, right? What are the
correct.
contents you have to write? When you do the search, right, the concepts will get cleared automatically. So you'll be doing 2 to 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times, right? That what is network and all of those things, Copilot, how does it works, and things in and around, right? And when you started writing it up, it will all get clear, right? The four things like always start small and then understanding all of those things. Don't be a master in any technology, right? In initial days, right? Once you have understand the component and the services, then you wanted to start a mastering of the one specific area. Once this
Yeah,
is done, start from second services, then third, then fourth and fifth, and slowly you'll get a lot of time. But what generally
correct.
people does is like they wanted to master in all the technology at one time, and then they will mix up with Java and Python and everything's and together, and they will not able to understand what components is to where. So focus on one technology at a time, and then slowly master other technologies as well. And you can start small always. Once you are expert in one, you don't have to spend more time.
Yes,
Advanced skills will come automatically, right? When you started working. So people think, no, I wanted to be an expert. So they will learn more and more. Rather than you can keep the focus on what is trending technology and started learning. And that is 4 and 5 factor which help me to keep top of the trend and help the people. So I still learn from many of the younger people when they are training the sessions and all of those they'll go and sit in terms of, though I know that .NET is not my cup of tea, but I'll go
mm-hmm.
and sit them. What they are training, Power Apps or M3 is not a my like I'm not I haven't working on this, but I'll go and sit them, right? At least I'll get an understanding where the technology trend is going on, right? What they are training, teaching. As and when there is a conversation, I'm able to convert to the things I can understand better, right? And
Yeah,
that's how the technology plays a good role. So meetups are a good way because In a day, you can learn four or five technology at one shot.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, this is the one of the best advice anyone can follow in order to learn something new. Because if you are writing blog, I'm completely agree here that yes, if you are writing a one page blog, you have to do a lot of research behind that, and that would only help you to clear your concepts and to find out the new things to do that. So that's a great thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. And I will say, like, I was the winner of Azure Blogathon. I got a first
Okay.
prize on this. And that blog, I write it in just 3 hours.
Okay.
So they called me and said, today is the last day. I'll have to give it, register it. I have registered it and give it in 3 hours. And that was sketching.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Lalit, there are many things that we can discuss here for sure, but just because of the limitation of time, I would like to ask my last question. And we all know there are many students and many IT professional who are looking towards you as a mentor. But here, I would like to ask about your mentors, like who has been the most impactful mentor or the role model in your career, and what lesson did they offer to you?
I would say is my father, okay, because he always says one thing कि काले बाल वाला क्या नहीं कर सकता है. So,
Okay.
which means that a human, okay. So that is one of the motivation factor that if you want to do anything, you will achieve, okay. Then when you see, it's not about the one mentor; it's about the multiple mentors.
Correct. Yeah.
So when I started my career, when I was graduation, there's a my English teacher Pandeji. Though even I'm never good in English, so I have some 34 marks in English in 12th. Okay, so he helped me to learn that particular skills. Then when I grow as a career, Usala Vasti is the one who helped me to understand quite a bit market and help them to bring into Bangalore and all. Then when I started my professional careers, there are Amit Madulkar is the one who helped me to, he always grill me because he see the sparks in me. Okay.
Yeah.
And people will only help you when they will see the sparks in you, right?
Correct.
Until
Agree.
like this, why people will come and tell you, right? So he's
Yeah.
the one. And then I started later also. There is many juniors or seniors. There's a Neeraj Kumar who helped me to get into the community as well. Then Anup Nair who helped me to get into the MVP. Then Ajay Kakkar who helped me to give me the support of space to deliver my first talk on Azure security centers. That was I think 2017 or 18. Then there are many other mentors. So mentors can change
Yeah.
because based on the times, the learnings, and all. But we don't have to depend on the one mentor and all because when you grow, right, you'll find a new mentor and grow. You find a new mentor and grow.
Correct.
You find a new mentor and grow because uh, in your journey there's many mentors, and I would say thanks to all the mentors, right? And
Right.
one things which I will say that you can learn from office boy to the VP also. This is
Agree.
the
Yeah.
key. And if you learn it right, they all have the skills, different skills, right? And I'll have to adopt whatever the skills is fits to you, adopt it. So I'll tell you one
Correct.
example. When I went to meet one of the clients in Delhi, right? I came outside. My shoes was not, a dirt, and it was cloth, right? So what he does is he has some of those chemicals or surf and all, right? He take a brush and he cleaned it like a new.
Okay.
Generally, what people do is like they'll go to the washroom and rub their shoes and they still don't get cleaned. Okay, so that's the
Mm.
general practice. He has a unique key, right?
Correct.
He can start his own business. So you learn from the people, like observe and learn it
Yes.
and
Right.
trust. Learn it will be keep into the market. So these are the few things which always keeps me motivating, and I would always thanks to those mentors. Probably few of them whom I didn't take the name, but I learned from all the peoples and they all my mentors and gurus. So
Okay.
learn. I said,
All right. So thank you so much, Lalit, for joining us in this podcast and for sharing your expertise and for giving all those tips for learning the Azure and for the way like anyone can contribute to the industry by by sharing their knowledge. So it was nice talking to you, and I hope you also enjoyed the discussion. So thank you once again for being a part of this show.
Thank you so much, Amit, for the wonderful opportunity, and it's been really nice, sharing my experience, and which will help to a lot of your audience and people to motivate and support others, because that is the one things which I don't see generally in the people they supports. So let's help them support, and if you have a knowledge, you have a lot of job. Your job is not going anywhere, right? So help the people, grow your community, grow yourself as much as you can share, as much as you can gain. So that's a mantra.
Yeah,
And thanks again, Amit, for the opportunity.
thank you.